I was kind of thrown right into it. When I was in college, I was interning for Comcast Sportsnet, and it was probably my first internship where I was able to really be the reporter, because a lot of my internships were more on production or, you know, kind of office stuff that had to do with sports communications. And one of the videographers, he was like, yeah, if you want to come out with us, you can be the reporter. And so they just were like, here you go, ask the questions. So at first it was really nerve-wracking, and I was like, am I going to ask the right questions? Are they going to give me one-word answers? What am I going to do if they give me one-word answers? So I was really in my head at first, and then just having mentors and being able to talk to people that are already in that position, being like, what was your experience? How did you get over this hump? Or if somebody is not really giving you too much, how do you go about getting them to open up? So really just having mentors and being able to talk to people and just having support and people really actually being like, you're good at this. So stop being so nervous, and just an athlete, an entertainer, a producer, anybody, they're just regular people. So you have to talk to them like they're regular people, because if you don't, they're not gonna respond to you as well as the next person. Right, for me, I just really go into an interview and make the person feel comfortable. I mean, I don't wanna be like, hi, you could just sit there, we'll be ready for you in a couple of minutes. Like, if they come in, I kind of talk to them like they're my friend, or, I mean, not as casual as a friend, maybe like an older friend, but just make them feel comfortable, talk about what we're maybe gonna get into a little bit, or just what they did that day, just anything to make them kind of start talking before the interview. Even if I have to kind of introduce myself, as far as, oh, like, I heard you love going to Miami. I went there one year. I had so much fun. I did this and this. What do you like to do there? So just comfortability to begin with. And then once the interview starts, some people do get very inward, especially when all the lights come on and they're like, oh my God, what is happening? So at that point, it's just kind of like, yeah, just, you can look at me and we're just having a conversation. All these lights are around, but it's just giving you good lighting. That's all it's doing. So you just have to make sure that they feel comfortable. I made a lot of mistakes when I first started, as everybody does, and you kind of have to just know that you're going to make mistakes, and I still make mistakes, obviously. But probably the biggest mistake I made at first was being nervous. So when you ask your questions, you sound nervous. I mean, you just don't sound confident, and that's the biggest part. And then also asking questions that probably were too generic to ask. Kind of like the questions that you kind of already know the answer to, but you're like, I should ask this question just to start off. But those questions you don't really need to know. Like if the Golden State Warriors won the Western Conference Finals, and I was like, so how did it feel? I mean, like, obviously it felt amazing. So you have to ask more of like an in-depth question as to like what the feeling was during that experience. This is the second year for you guys. Just kind of giving more detail and getting more into a question instead of making it so generic. I've definitely asked a dumb question before, and I like to think that there aren't any dumb questions, but there are. So I definitely have asked a question that I was like, why did you just say that? But you just keep going. I mean, like I said, I kind of embrace mistakes because you learn from them. So the interview, I mean, as it continued, I probably asked better questions after that just because I was like, you know what, that was really dumb. And he's now thinking like, girl, why'd you ask me that? But just kind of, and I think that's the best part that I love about interviewing is that I can be myself and just have a conversation and get what people want to hear. So if I did ask this dumb question, my next question is going to be bomb because I'm like, oh, I just messed up there.
Thank you for watching A Wise Way. Subscribe to stay updated, share to pass the knowledge, or view our other videos on the left.